So I'm Sharon, I'm your host today. I'm one of the Web Lab co-founders. We're organizing many events, but especially with Polygon. The demo day is coming this Friday, 3 CET. So you're welcome to join. And basically what we do, we supporting founders, builders in Web3 through our community, but also we have a studio. Not gonna talk much about it, but that's basically the idea. So again, welcome. Today we have Tomer, and from Israel. He's an investor. He's going to introduce himself, and a Web3 game expert, and also one of the team of CBDO and CMO, Cryptomon. He's going to tell you more about this. And we have Sergio from Madrid, right, Sergio? I'm not wrong. He's a BD, senior BD, gaming, LATAM, and I think Europe. He also is going to introduce himself. We created this AMA to give you more intimate insights into the gaming and Polygon, only for founders, although I guess there are people that are not founders that want to become founders. That's the idea. And more about fundraising and also go-to-market, player acquisition. That's what we're going to do today. We're going to have roughly half an hour of discussion between Tomer and Sergio, and then we're going to open up for you guys. So if you just mute yourself during the next half an hour, it's going to help. You can say something, but it's just wait for just write down your question either in the chat. I'm also going to give some, so I prepared a few questions, but also there is questions that you guys put on Luma. We're going to pick up a few. And in the end, we're going to summarize, and I'm going to ask you also to give us some feedback. It's important if you want to have more sessions like those. It's a community initiative, not commercial one, and we need the participation of the community and the ask from the community to do more AMAs or online sessions. So that's basically what's going to happen in the next 45 minutes. And this session is recorded. So if you don't want your face or your name or whatever, just don't turn on your camera or don't write anything or speak. That's it. Probably we're gonna put it on YouTube and share it with the community. Let's start with Tomer. Short intro, 2 minutes, go.
Hey guys, Tomer Nuni, CMO and CBDO of Cryptomon. Digital marketeer for the last 20 years, seed investor and pre-seed investor for companies in the realms of mobile applications, and the last 2.5 years Web3. Cryptomon was one of my portfolio companies, which I fell in love with and joined this adventure as a chief marketing officer and business development officer. I'm writing for Cointelegraph and writing for Forbes about everything related to DeFi, GameFi, and the beautiful future and the innovation of Web3 and decentralized finance in general. That's it in a nutshell.
You're very modest. Thank you, Tomer. How is the weather in Israel, by the way? I'm freezing here.
Very nice as you can see. Yeah. Still with t-shirt, a little bit cold, so I have the heating behind me, but it's nice.
Cool. Thank you, Tomer. Sergio, quick intro.
Okay, thank you very much, Sharon and Tomer, for having me here. It's a pleasure, and thank you all for attending to this event. So yeah, in my case, quick intro about myself. I'm Sergio. I'm based in Madrid, in Spain. I'm leading the BD strategy of Polygon in the vertical of gaming in the regions of Europe, Middle East, Africa, and Latin America. So helping game developers to be onboarded on the Web3 space in all these regions, and also closing collaborations with companies that are helping us to increase the audience of Web3Ns, which is one of the biggest challenges for the next year. I will explain you after that which kind of projects we are looking for, which are the main insights that we are seeing in these regions. But yeah, I've been in Polygon for 1.5 years, more or less. Previously, I had experience in financial consultancy in PwC, And yeah, and this is in a nutshell my profile.
Amazing. I have to say that both Sergio and Tomer are really helping WebLab and the guilds. So we really appreciate it. I think Sergio participated in 3 events, right, in last year. So he's very, very responsive, very active, very helpful. And also Tomer is one of our judges in the demo day, also helped a lot WebLab and the guilds. So thank you again, guys, for being in today. Okay, let's jump into it. I think my first question is, what changed during 2023 in the Web3 gaming? Probably play to earn. I don't know, what do you see that existed, not going to happen the next year? The prediction for 2024, Tomer, can you start?
Yes, of course, I will be happy to answer. I will answer from with 2 hats, with the investor hat on and with the actual CMO and CBDO of a Web3 gaming company. Basically, what changed in 2023 compared to 2022 is that we're done with the hype and with the FOMO, and we're down to earth now with actual creators. So as you know, 2022, it was basically 2021. Around the June 2021, with the huge hype of Axie Infinity, they were basically the only play-to-earn game out there. People were locked during COVID at homes. Us in the West, we got money from governments, and people in third world countries didn't. The ones in the Western countries took the money, they were bored, so they started doing online playing and gambling. On the other side of the earth, we had the people in the Southeast Asia and around that area that basically found a new job, the play to earn realms, where they would just go and earn these NFTs and sell them. That was the beginning of the hype. Everybody saw the financial opportunity, tokens started pumping, NFTs started pumping, and the whole market started getting into this craziness of crazy valuations. And of course, with money comes innovation, but unfortunately, with money also comes fraud. Lots of companies and projects were just raising funds because they could with a nice 3D video. Most of them were not creators, were just people who took the opportunity to raise funds for nothing from this market in this crypto anonymous realms. And 2023, with the bear, basically revealed the real creators of games. So now the industry is much more mature than it was in 2022. Actual creators creating games. We already have tractions. We solved a lot of problems of actually creating sustainable economies. Most of the industries moved from the play to earn into a play and earn model. If you want to read more about the play and earn model, you can Google it. I think you will find the first article that one of the first I have on Cointelegraph about it. And I think that's basically the main difference, that the industry now attracts and is made from real creators that build and create, and less from scammers who are trying to raise funds out of nothing, out of thin air, just because they say that they have a GameFi game. That would be my answer. Oh, and valuation changed dramatically, by the way. Last thing, guys, valuations. Companies that raised by valuations of 50, 100, 200, and crazy amounts and crazy sums are now down to earth. Valuations have been cut by half, by 40%, 60%, aggressively cut out. So this is also a huge change that happened in 2023 that is important to use in entrepreneurs.
So basically what you're saying, moving to play and earn, which I want to hear more if you can explain what does it mean in a nutshell. It reveals the real founders and games, less bullshit, yes. Let's say.
Yeah.
And valuation accordingly.
Yes. Yeah.
Can you say a little bit about the play to earn or play and earn?
We'll start from the play to earn. Play to earn basically is a Ponzi scheme model, which basically is the first to arrive or basically benefit from all the others who come after them. And usually they're the ones who are holding the bag, as we call them in the industry, who are basically the ones who are the suckers to get lost, and the ones that lost all of their money. So it's a Ponzi scheme. I assume that most of the people here know what a Ponzi scheme is. It's not sustainable economy. It's basically making a model where the project is paying you guys with tokens or NFTs to play the game. And basically, as it scales up, these NFTs and tokens are worth less and less because they're being liquidated into the market, and it's not sustainable in any way. Play and earn model is basically an economy for a game that is being managed like a country. When your country is issuing a real currency, they are pegging their currency into something, right? Into, usually nowadays it's debt. It's debt. It used to be gold. Then we had the petrodollar system, et cetera, et cetera. We won't get into economics now. But basically, play and earn means that we create a sustainable place, which is, you can say, live and work and earn, and not work to earn. It's basically something more sustainable. The funding inside of the game goes back to the community, and then by either burning mechanisms, or by rewarding, or by rev sharing, or whatever. And it's like a closed circle. So the least of the money is being dropped into markets to liquidate, and no one can become rich overnight. But you do own your assets, your digital assets, and you get the chance, if you're good, also to earn quite a lot of money for what you do earn in the game. But it's not your job. That's the main difference.
Sergio,
and valuations.
valuation.
Valuations. Money was cheap. Fed changed the game. Money is more expensive now. Money is more expensive. Less money in the market. Less money in the market, meaning less access to funds to projects, meaning that projects need to cut down the valuations. Party is over. Party is stabilizing. And here we are with valuations who are down to earth from previous bull runs.
Great analysis. Sergio, what changed during 2023? What do you see for next year?
Yeah, I think that Tomer explained perfectly the differentiation between what happened in the past and what's happening right now. So it's important that we understand where we come from. And obviously, in a condition of bull market, previously all the game developers were focusing more on financials rather than gameplay. So I think that in a bull market, that some of them could work, could even be successful. But what happened during the bear market? All the financials went down, and they didn't have a gameplay that was really attractive for the users. So when you don't have a good gameplay, at the end you don't have a product, right? So I think that was the main problem, and now I think that a lot of developers realized that they had to focus efforts on gameplays. That's at the end the core and the spirit of gaming, which is to make people to have fun. So I think that in 2023 a lot of developers have realized this problem and are putting solutions in place. In addition, we have seen in 2023 more game developers coming from the Web2 space with a lot of years of background, of experience, now developing really good experiences for users. And they are incorporating the benefits of blockchain inside their games, but they are not trying to create something fully based on blockchain. Also, I mean, I think that we're also seeing some improvements in terms of onboarding. Wallet providers are also giving new solutions in order to make onboarding easier. And I think this mixture of expertise in terms of development and solutions that have been created in 2023 for onboarding will make that in 2024 we'll see a lot of titles to go to market because the market conditions could be better, and I think this is promising, right? Also, we are seeing some technical efforts being made by the improvements of protocol, like the smart like account abstraction, like relayers and so on, that at the end make life easier to users. And I think that this mixture of knowledge and technical advancements, I think that will make that 2024 will be better. In the side of investment, obviously, yeah, 2021, 2022, in terms of investment, were much bigger than 2023. But according to some conversations that in some events that we had with venture capitals, for example, in Gamescom, which is the biggest gaming event in Europe, they said that a lot of them were waiting for 2024 to see these projects to publish their beta versions, alpha versions, etc., in order to be onboarded again on Web3 gaming. But yeah, I'm sure that this will come back.
So would you say that like Web3 gaming is just using games for fun, but you use the technology for utility, or I don't know, it's like, how do you see the intersection still between Web3 and gaming?
Yeah, I think that developers should realize that blockchain is not inventing nothing, it's just improving processes. So I think that when developers realize this, they focus a lot on efforts for the experience of the gameplay, and then they incorporate all the benefits of blockchain in the game. But here, they are also realizing that when you make people to discover the benefits of blockchain once they have already tested out gameplay, the experience is much better, right? So here an example is like an MMO, let's say an MMORPG that you start for free, a free-to-play model, and you find an in-game incentive to open a loot box, and it's under the requirement that you create a wallet and you learn what are NFTs, right? So, you have started to play the game, you have started to see the experience of the game, you are engaged with the game, you are already in the community, you meet other people that are playing that game, and once you are inside, you discover the benefits of blockchain, but you don't have that barrier of, okay, buying the NFT, then download the game, understand what is blockchain, what is a wallet in order to play my game, because that barrier makes that people between Web 2 and Web 3 are separated by a huge frontier, right? So I think that to narrow this space is very, very, very important.
So focusing on the onboarding, the simplicity, and bit by bit introducing what we call Web3. That's what you will see.
Indeed, it's a very good conclusion. But obviously, as I said before, I think it's not only a responsibility of game developers, which it is, but also about the solution providers that are in the space, like wallet providers, marketplaces, NFT protocols, etc., that need also to develop experiences which are seamless enough for the traditional user.
Got it. So I
Great
wanna
feedback. Great, by the way, analysis and explanation by Sergio with lots of important input. I would add one tiny thing from game studio point of view, from the actual in the ground now.
Yeah.
One of the main reasons to create a Web3 game, that first of all, let's start with the winter, so with the bear market. So there's a thing I like to say, it says winter breeds mammoths. So during winter, you actually see the ones who are actual creators, who are here to create, and other opportunities who are trying to raise quick buck and run away with the funds. Now, the actual concept of Web3, the amazing innovation that is undeniably revolutionary, is the actual fact of digital ownership. For the first time ever, gamers can own their game assets. Now, this is crazy. Like, I'm an old gamer. I've been playing games like since forever, and like, imagine that like our assets are suddenly ours. We spent time for it. We spend money on it. We woke up in the middle of the night for a raid event because we're living by, I don't know, American time zone or whatever. So, and it's ours. Why can't we sell it? Why can't we trade it? Why, if I will do it, why is it considered that I'm stealing something from the company and I'm risking my account to be banned? If I'm paying money to buy coins in a game, why isn't it my money? Why it's an in-game currency? Why can't I liquidate it if I didn't use all of it? So what Web3 does is basically making games more real. Digital ownership allows us to own our in-game currency, to own our assets. This is the biggest revolution that blockchain technology, blockchain, Web3, NFT, crypto, use all the buzzwords. That's what we basically do. Tokenization allows digital ownership of actual game assets. And this is the next evolution of gaming. It's not a question of will it happen. It will happen because the people want it. Now, question is how it is going to happen and who will be the leaders of it. And I believe that during this bear market, a lot of good opportunities and a lot of the good projects are being revealed. And this is the main thing. And of course, guys, we cannot ignore the Web2 people, exactly as Sergio said. Like the Web2 people, you know, we're like the normal non-coiners, non-blockchain users. I'm throwing balloons.
Yeah, I think,
yeah, I'm closing. Yeah.
So basically, I remember talking with the Cryptomon founders, it was almost half a year ago, and they said, we are a Web2 company using Web3 technology. So probably what you're saying, bringing the ownership and the technology and utility of what blockchain can offer to the economy of gaming in a game itself, from owning an asset, renting an asset, buying an asset. This is going to happen anyway, but onboarding, as Sergio said, and user acquisition, which I'm going to ask you soon, and this is still like what you used to do up until recently, right? Like it's still a game and you need to treat it as a game, but you enhance the experience with this technology.
Sergio said it perfectly well. Like he summarized all of the conversation. Game first, crypto second. It's like, imagine the early days of the internet, right? If you guys are old gamers here in the crowd, you know, like me, already very old. Imagine the day, you know, that suddenly one day we had modems, right? And then we had Command and Conquer that you can play in a modem with your friend. He's in his home and you're in your home, and you call him with a modem and you play online, you play against each other. That was crazy, right? It's like the Web 2 or whatever you want to call it. PC tour, I don't know what it was. Like, it was crazy, like online gaming. I'm playing against a friend in his house with a modem, you know? And this basically, we need to treat the same with digital asset ownership, with tokenization, right? Blockchain enables us to own this. This is the next evolution of gaming. Now, online gaming it's a non-brainer. A game that you can't play online, it makes no sense to anyone not to play online in a game. Why would you play the game? Same thing will happen with blockchain, but game first, tokenization and everything, and the NFTs and the crypto aspect second. Focused about creating a good game.
So it leads me to my next question, and I start with Sergio. We talked about it. You said that one of the biggest challenges that you've seen, and also all the application, the gaming application for the builder house and the demo day, is go-to-market, player acquisition, right? This is where most of the founders will struggle, regardless blockchain, not blockchain. This is so. From your experience talking with, I guess, a lot of founders, seeing a lot of decks and see what's happening in the industry, top 3 strategies that you recommend, or you can answer it in a different way. What you shouldn't do. Don't go there. Like we said, play to earn. So either you answer top 3 things that every founder needs to look at, or please avoid, don't be stupid, you know? Choose your game.
Okay, perfect. So yeah, it's very good question. I think that, well, one thing to avoid obviously is to create all the project over the token, right? Because I think that when you focus everything on the token and you forget the rest, you forget the gameplay, you forget the experience, and at the end you are not delivering nothing beside an asset which is going to be used for speculation, right? So I think it's very important to create a project from scratch, taking into consideration that community and gameplay must be at the epicenter. Once you take care of that, the rest will come, right? So for user acquisition, yeah, obviously we have a very important challenge based on the experience of onboarding, but I think that there are opportunities here. For example, in Polygon, how we are helping games to reach new audiences, to reach user acquisition, connecting them, for example, with all the distribution platforms that are rising in Web3, that at the end have the advantage that earn less money than, for example, Google Play, iOS, Steam, Epic Games, etc. and they have a more decentralized model, okay, let's say. So in distribution, we have an opportunity, and a lot of good platforms are rising here. We are trying to connect them with these platforms in order that they can identify synergies. Also, in terms of community, we are working a lot with B2C platforms, like, for example, gaming guilds. Gaming guilds have been building communities from the very beginning. They come from, many of them, from the Web2 space, and they have players already that are ready to jump on Web3, and that they are looking for new experiences with these Web3 games. So we are connecting them, right? So some examples, like, for example, in Latin America, in South Asia, we have like a mixture of players. For example, Latin America is a region of more than 300 million players, and a mixture as well of adoption of crypto wallets. So when you mix a lot of gamers with higher crypto wallet adoption due to the economic conditions of these countries, you get an opportunity over there, right? So to focus these strategies on these emerging countries, I think, is important. And yeah, and also we have seen other protocols in terms of user acquisitions, like collaborations with tournament platforms, social platforms, quest platforms, that at the end what they are doing is to create experiences in order that your game creates a tournament or a quest, and the winner, you create a challenge for them, for the community, and the winner gets a crypto or NFT for everyone. So this is a way also to onboard new users and to create incentives at the end, right? So yeah, in a nutshell, to conclude, I think that it's very important to create experiences, to be partnered with the collaborators that are winning the space in Web3, and yeah, to take care of the deliveries that you are promising to all your players.
So before I give Tomer, I want Tomer to answer it from the investor point of view. What founders are missing in their decks usually from the user acquisition. But basically what you're saying is think about distribution, which I rarely see, like distribution models in decks, like I mean fundraising deck. Think about where is the crypto native audience and emerging markets that probably will try use your game. And the last thing you say is context or quest, where it's more social and people can win prizes. This is where you see opportunities right now. Tomer, can you answer like the go-to-market user acquisition from the investor point of view? What things that you see that founders are missing or ignoring, or it's critical?
Well, what founders are missing at the moment, to be honest, is the actual go-to-market strategy for the product, and we're focusing more of the go-to-market strategy for the token. If I'm looking at investors at deck, like I see product, I see ideas, I see amazing games. I'm getting all kind of infrastructure solutions. Everybody are showing me the tokenomics. They're totally showing me the token distribution. They're showing me which DEXs and centralized exchanges they're going to focus on. No one speaks about how he's going to bring customers to actually use the product that he's creating, and how he's going to bring gamers to the game that he's creating. So the go-to-market strategy should be focused first of how you're going to make your product actually succeed, and not how you're going to pump your token. If you ask me, of course, like as an investor, and if you're, of course, not reaching the retail short-term holder, and you're reaching the more serious, reputable VCs, and of course, reaching the reputable entities and titans in the industry like Polygon, coming from experiences, also working with Polygons and Sergio on a few things. First, product, guys, focus about product. That's what I think the industry is missing around, like all around, is the creators who will focus about the success of the product go-to-market strategy that will differentiate them from existing solutions, what they innovate, what needs they answer, and focus more about how in the short and medium term they're going to create value for token holders, how they're going to avoid dropping of tokens, staking mechanisms, inflation, deflation, and again focusing about a token and not focusing about the product. Which, by the way, guys, products, are a great income channel. Cryptomon, for example, we generated by 2022, we generated $1 million in annual revenue rate. It wasn't bad for a very early game. You can definitely generate money from the game, and then you can definitely give it back to the community. We've been giving back to the community with various activities, various competitions, but always giving back. This is my I think long answer to what you should focus on and how to build a deck that presents yourself and the product in a way that it should. If you want just to pump and dump and focus about tokenization, create a meme coin. Simple, easier, not too many graphics, easier for you guys, and no one will blame you. It's a meme coin.
So, I want you, maybe you can give me an example of a good go-to, like, there is like 15 slides in a deck. Let's say it's the first time you see this deck, right? Probably a founder has 1 or 2 slides on go-to-market. And you said this is very critical, focused on product and focused on your go-to-market when you share it with investors. What do you expect to see on those slides on the go-to-market? Give me an example, maybe, of what should I do?
Well, you will be very surprised to hear. I believe that Sergio can agree with me. He sees also lots of decks, probably more than me. Most of them do not even focus about the go-to-market strategy. Most of them focus about the product, team, advisors, VCs, and tokenomics, and that's it. Thank you. Not too many go-to-market strategies that I've seen, unfortunately. But from the ones I do see, which are usually Web 2 coming to Web 3, to utilize the technology to enhance the experience for users, gamers, and the product itself with blockchain capabilities. The ones who do show them that I like most is basically the ones that I see how they're going to branch out through a community that they build. So a project that does not build a community around its project in Web3 does not have any reason to exist. The community, at the end of the day, yeah, I truly believe in it.
Yeah.
First thing, by the way, that I always, I practice what I preach. In Cryptomon, our most important asset is the community. It's our number one asset before the technology. So, it's people all around the world who are basically ambassadors of the brand, of the game, which we need to activate. We branch out when we release a new version of the game. We branch out through them. So it's a go-to-market strategy, building and maintaining, nurturing a good, strong community is the first step that I'm looking for when I'm checking the go-to-market strategy of a project. They need to start from there.
So show, don't tell. The community part. Sergio, do you want something to add to what Tomer just said?
No, I totally agree. I think just to give an example, it's like when let's imagine on Electronic Arts when this company was created in the past, and they were starting to pitch to some VCs, and let's imagine that what will happen if they will base all the strategy of growth in the appreciation of their shares, but nothing else. They only will talk about the appreciation of the shares, but not talking about what were the plans with the game FIFA, for example, right? So how they plan to acquire users, which were going to be the platforms that they were going to be integrated, what were going to be the actions to be made with the users, and so on. Right? So it's a good example, and I think that with blockchain happens the same. I like another example in order to hide the blockchain and a little bit the differentiation and to narrow a little bit the space that we have right now between Web3 and Web2. That is that nobody in Web2 cares if the game has been built on top of AWS or on top of Google Cloud, right? Because at the end, the cloud service is hidden. What is important is the experience. So I think that in Web3, it should happen quite the same to hide a little bit the fact of the token, the fact of the infra, the fact of the blockchain, and to focus on the experience, because at the end, if the experience is seamless enough for the user acquisition will come. So I think this is the idea.
Okay, so I want to ask the last question to you, Sergio, and then we'll open up the mic. Maybe we'll pick up one of the questions from Luma. A little bit about Polygon. How can Polygon help founders in building a game? What are the options that Polygons offer? Can you
Okay.
share a little bit?
Yeah, perfect. So in a nutshell, we are helping game developers despite the phase of development that they are facing. Some games are talking with us and they are very close to launch to market. Other games have already launched the game, and other ones are still in a very prototype phase. Okay, so it doesn't matter. We talk with everyone and we try to measure which is the need and depending on the roadmap of the game developer. Okay, so we help them in several fronts. The first one obviously is the technical support, because we want that all the Polygon implementations are successfully deployed. So here, for gaming, our technical roadmap is very, very ambitious, because gaming for us is today is the most important vertical. It drives like around 60% of the transactions of the chain. So it makes sense that we put a lot of efforts. And technically, we have basically two options, which one is Polygon POS, the sidechain of Ethereum, and the other one is also thanks to our partnership with Immutable CKVM, which will onboard a lot of games. Mainnet will be ready by next year. The testnet has been live since June. So here we are onboarding a lot of games as well, and in order to increase throughput and to decrease gas fees. Also, we have another chance during the next year, that a game also deploys their own app chain with our Polygon CDK, our chain development kit. So it's a way of having your own rollup, like a rollup as a service with Polygon technology. Okay? So these are like the three possibilities, and we provide all the support they need with our solution engineer team as well, ready to jump to any conversation that might be needed by the game developer. Also, in terms of infra, we help them with all the connections to the best infra providers that are partnering with us, like Oracle providers, RPCs, wallet providers, marketplaces, NFT protocols, etc. We like to manage these connections as fast as possible in order to make the experience of the game developer easier in the design of the game. We want them to be focused on the gameplay, and if we can help on the side of infra, connecting them with the best providers so that they can leverage the efforts, right, on the Web3 layer on them. Thirdly, I would say that in terms of go-to-market, as I said before, it's very important that we provide support to them with connections to distribution collaborators, like I said, gaming platforms, launchers, aggregators, in terms of community guilds, tournament platforms, quest platforms. Also, in terms of incubation, acceleration, launch pads, etc. Here we have also the best collaborators in place. And in terms of funding, also we have some opportunities. One is our new program of Polygon Village that it's been live since the last month. So developers have the opportunity to get grants as well. Also, we have scaled our grants with other partners, like one example, Immutable CKVM. So some games are receiving grant proposals. IntelliX, one of the biggest gaming platforms from the Korean market, are also giving grants for projects deployed on Polygon POS. The game 7DAO also is deploying grants. And finally, we have the option of our ventures team to invest on equity. Some criteria that we have, and yeah, this is like in a nutshell the plan that we have to onboard a lot of game developers on Polygon. I think that the roadmap that we have in 2024 is very ambitious. We are seeing a lot of interest, and I think that also working with them in the part of community together with the business side, I think this mixture will be the key.
Thanks. And if I want to get in touch with the team, what's the best way?
Well,
ask a question.
Yeah, it depends. I mean, here, for example, in this call, feel free to approach to me. You have my contact, and depending on the region that you are based, I will connect you with the appropriate BD. if you are based in EMEA or LATAM, I will cover your project. If not, we have several colleagues in these regions that will help perfectly. They are amazing colleagues that we have in Polygon, and they are doing great stuff, both in North America and APAC, that are also the biggest markets for gaming. Also, you can submit your intention of talking with Polygon through our website, and we will receive the form. And also thanks to our channel partners that are working with us. Like, for example, if you talk with any kind of wallet provider before with Polygon, and you tell them, hey guys, I need to talk with Polygon, they will provide you the appropriate contacts, because we always try to close mutual referrals with all these partners, and at the end we are all in the same environment, and at the end you will find the appropriate person. Okay, but yeah, here in this call, happy to help you all, and feel free to connect with me after this meeting.
Great, thanks. So we ran out of time. We're gonna spend our 15 minutes for questions. I hope it's fine, Tomer and Sergio. Great. So I'm gonna pick up one of the questions, and then we just raise your hand. I think there was a really interesting one. Yeah. What's not working in Web3 gaming communities nowadays that needs to be fixed? Tomer, really short, 1 minute answer.
What are the? Where do I read the question?
What isn't working in Web3 gaming communities nowadays that needs to be fixed from your perspective?
Well, what's not working? I think it's from project to project. Everybody has something that doesn't work for them. Main problem with the Web3 game communities is that these are gamers. Your community is very diverse, but at the end of the day, it goes down to speculators around your token and gamers who are really hyped about your game and the opportunity. Now, when you create such a mixture, you have all kinds of messages that you need to deliver to the audience. You're delivering a message about token and what's going on in actual economy for the holders, and you hype them and you keep them engaged as investors. And then you have the gamers who want like a good gaming experience because they're hyped about the game that you're going to create, or early adapters. The problem with the communities that I see most is basically finding the balance between the actual token crypto NFT communication and the actual game announcements and messages. And another thing is that when you're creating a game, it takes a few years to complete the whole game, to create a serious game. Investors and gamers are running out of patience after a few months in your community. You need to find a way to keep them engaged. So involve them in your game creation. We always say that our team, our community is our extended team. Basically, every decision that we want to make, we're trying our best to involve our community with it. We're asking them questions. We let them try. We are doing surveys, and we're trying to, as much as we can, involve them in the product creation. If not, you will basically get them bored. There's so much you can speak about listings and about the new staking competition. You need to involve your community, to treat your Web3 game community as your extended team, involve them in the game creation, because if not, they will get bored, and then your project dies.
Great, thanks. Anyone wants to ask a question, or I'm going to pick up one from Luma? I'm going to pick one for Sergio. How do you see the Web3 games market in LATAM, Sergio?
Yeah, good question. Well, I think that I gave a piece of information before, but yeah, in LATAM, I had the opportunity to travel last month to LABitConf, which is the biggest Web3 event in LATAM this year in Buenos Aires, in Argentina. So it was a great experience because it was a good moment to understand what's happening in the market over there, and to see what was around in gaming as well. Okay, so in LATAM, as I told you before, there is a massive opportunity for gaming in terms of users, because there are 300 million of users, which is like around the population of the United States all playing games. And the projects that we are seeing there are more related with community rather than game developers. Okay, so for example, like a big difference between Europe and LATAM. In Europe, we are seeing in terms of number of Web3 developers a bigger number, But in terms of community, the opportunities in LATAM are very big. Right? Why? Because there are a lot of projects like gaming guilds, projects connecting with communities, projects of distribution, a lot of events happening there in terms of engaging with them, and a lot of game developers as well from other parts of the world, not only from Europe, but also from Asia and North America, are looking for opportunities over there. In addition, if we add to that the fact that blockchain adoption is higher, for example, in Brazil is the country in the world with more wallet adoption. So more than 25% of the population in Brazil have already a crypto wallet. So I think that this data shows that it's a region more of community rather than developers. But obviously, I think that in the future, when the investment is also focused on LATAM, I would say that a lot of developers will arise from these countries. We already meet some developers from Argentina, from Brazil, from República Dominicana, Mexico, and so on. So in numbers it's a small number than smaller number than in Europe, but I think that this will grow. Yeah.
Great. Yeah, very interesting. I guess that every market has different kind of maturity and context, right? Tomer, for you, let's say I'm raising money right now for my game. Let's say seed, pre-seed, early, right? Which most of the application that we saw. What are your top 3, let's say, tips, but what you will recommend for founders raising money right now on the next Q1? What should they do? Your perspective as an investor. Top 3.
Well, friend, the question. What do I want? What do I want to
If
say?
I'm a founder,
how do you
raising
think I
money,
should
yeah.
approach?
What do you recommend founders raising money right now for their game? Let's say it's early stage, right? It's not like Series A or something like that. As an investor, what you will recommend them to do as a strategy, maybe on their deck, the way to attract investors in this dry markets? What do you recommend?
First of all, I would. Okay, no, thank you for clarifying. So I wasn't sure if it's what I want to see or what I recommend them to approach. So as to what I'd recommend to have, the markets now are less in a gamble mode. During the bull run, like 2 years ago, money was free. And, as we say, wherever you put a stick in the ground, leaves would come out. Then everybody were throwing money at every Web3 project. Now the markets are more mature, and investors want to see actual products. Markets are much more aggressive towards investments now, and they're dry. We want to see something in hand, so we don't want only people to come and tell us a story about what they're going to create with a plan. We want to see that they already have, as we say, their skin in the game, and they already created something, meaning that they already invested from their time, maybe even some of their money, to create something, some sort of an MVP, early demo, and then they're coming to raise funds. So first thing, come with something. Don't come empty-handed. You're coming empty-handed, it's going to be very, very difficult for someone to take you seriously now. Second thing, do not try to raise all of the funds at your first raise. Guys, companies usually, back in my day, it was the $1 million, it was the $1 million valuation to go and raise $200,000 from angel investors. And we came with the product. Nowadays, you go to raise $1 million or $2 million with the valuation of 20 before you even have a deck. So I would recommend to keep your eyes on the ground, like plan your fundraising according to shorter milestones. Don't show a plan for 5 years, and that's why you need to raise $10 million. Go out and raise $300,000 or $500,000 after you had an initial product. Create a plan for 6 months or a year, And during that time, plan your next funding. Show it as part of the deck that once you will reach these 6 months with that milestone that you want to reach with that investor's money, then you're going to a bigger round. That's how you build companies that actually last. Now, we've done it for years in Web 2. That's how you build a company that will last for long term. And in crypto, unfortunately, everybody are trying to raise as much as they can in the shortest time possible, and then they try to figure out what to do with the money. So create a plan that will make sense for you, will make sense for the investor, and that will show that you're serious.
Great. Sergio, anything from your side, seeing also the Polygon games and founders?
Yeah, well, I think that Tomer is the best person to talk about raising money because to be honest, I haven't created any company in my life, so I cannot give you like the best approach here. But I mean, from my experience in Polygon, I would say that it's much better to at least have like a prototype built rather than to go only with a deck, because that happened a lot of times. And also to be aware that what you are building, it has been built, at least in gaming, it has been built by other persons already in the industry, at least in a 95% of the cases, right? I'm putting an example, a shooter game. How many shooter games are in the space? Which is your differentiator value with other shooter game? Okay, so I think that to put efforts on that, I think is very important. The other day, I had a conversation with a game developer that was telling me a very good insight, sharing with me that what he was thinking is that, okay, these games that are focusing on the best games that are right now in the Web2 space, like let's think about Fortnite, and just creating the same game experience, but adding skins with NFTs. At the end, the only value that they are is skins with NFTs, but it's that really attractive to onboard a lot of users? The answer is no, because you need a product that is 10 times better than Fortnite, right? So, I mean, to create just Web3 with any other reason, I think that should not add value, and I think that the experience should be different, you know. So, you know, this insight is, I really like that idea. But as I mentioned, the strategy for raising money, I think Tomer here is the person.
It's interesting because I never seen in a game deck any differentiation or positioning. It's really rare when the founders position themselves against the market. A shooting game is a great example. Like, what's the difference? I think it's, yeah, maybe it's not the best way to differentiate, but how do you make yourself, I don't know, more lucrative than the other games in the industry? The genre, there is a genre, right? And basically a game, let's say I'm playing a shooter game, probably I'm going to evaluate your game. So is it better in the experience, in the storytelling, in the onboarding, and just saying NFT or buy, sell skins? I'm not sure if it's going to attract the market, right?
It won't. I'm telling you from experience, guys, it won't. Your game needs to be good. You need to create a good product. You need to create something that people will want to play. And you need to use, again, the online gaming and the blockchain and digital ownership aspect, as you know, as the unique value proposition that will basically create the leverage that you are going to offer on top of your competitor game. But, you know, each game has its own experience. You just need to really create a good game. You need to invest in the narrative. You need to create a good product, guys. You know, you have Tekken, you have Street Fighter, you have Mortal Kombat. One of them better than the other? You can't say that one is better than the other. You know, we all play FIFA and we play Pro Evolution Soccer. We play Call of Duty, we play Rainbow Six, we play, you know, at the end of the day, you know, each has its own unique value proposition, has its own unique experience, your own unique story, own unique value. Then focus, you know, on creating a higher quality product, then people would come. But definitely do not put all of the weight of creating a game company, Web3 game company, on building the right tokenomics for investors that would create the pump.
But would you expect somebody saying, let's say I'm building something similar to FIFA, right? Would you expect in a deck to address it? Like what's the difference here in the experience or the story?
To address the fact that you can own the players or own a fraction of the player?
Let's say I can, yeah.
Of course, it's a totally new experience. Do not forget, guys, that owning your asset, it's completely it's something else, right? It adds to the experience. Knowing that when I will play against Sergio with my team and his team, and we actually, he can lose like $5 to me, or I can lose my $5 to him, and I can buy a good player from him to fill my team or swap our players or fraction of a player or something. It adds a whole new layer of experience and fun to the actual game. So we'll definitely, of course, mention it. And you can also, guys, put it as the focus that this is your unique value proposition, and that will differentiate you from the rest of the normal games. But again, as we said throughout the conversation, focus on creating a good game and a good experience, then creating good tokenomics that will look sexy to investors for a pump and dump ride. I can tell you that 99% of this industry is vaporized during 2022, 2023, eliminated. Now, guys, also do not forget, and we need to wrap up, but coming as a recommendation from the game studio and from the investor aspect. During the last bull run, everybody came with their game. Basically, they created a deck, some kind of a Fiverr video with 3D stuff that they paid, I don't know, $10,000 for, and went to raise $1 million. And the market dropped and disappeared. Now, what happened during that time is now the market is more mature. Companies are becoming super pros. It means that the big players are coming to Web3. If our competition in Pink Moon Studios, was a few, kids who, were playing with Unity and created a 3D video, they were our competition, but they had a nice deck, so they raised $10 million. Now our competition, guys, is Ubisoft, EA Sports, like Gameloft, these are the giants who are entering this realm. So bear in mind, guys, it's going to be tough, and you need to keep to keep up with your game, literally. This is now it's the big boys that are coming in. So come in with something that is valuable, come in with something that's worth the investor's time and your time to raise money with, and make sure it's fun.
I think that's a great conclusion. Experience, fun, focus on the product, focus on community, think about how you're different, think about your player. Tokenomics is important, but it's not like a selling point could be also dangerous if you build community around tokenomics or your token. Basically, that's what happened the last 2 years. Guys, I want to really thank you, Sergio and Tomer, for this amazing conversation. It was very insightful. And all the participants. Sorry for keeping it a little bit later than I expected. Anyway, the next step, if you want more of this, please share feedback. You're going to get a Luma, already you got an email. I need your feedback to create more of this because it's also a resource from Polygon and other people. If it's valuable, if you want to hear something different, you can talk with Sergio, Tomer. Maybe you can also, I don't know if you can DM Tomer and ask a few questions. I think it's very accessible. So it's also amazing. And I think, that's it. Stay connected with the guild. We're going to do more of those things. We have the demo day on Friday. Please come and hear the next top startups. And I think that's it.
Thanks for having us, Sharon. It was a pleasure.
Great.
Thank you very much, Sharon.
Indeed, great value.
Amazing. I'm probably going to upload it to YouTube after I'm going to edit it. So keep an eye on the guild. Okay. Thank you, guys.
Sergio, thanks. Sean, thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone, for being with us today. Feel free to DM.
Yeah. Bye, guys.